and welcome back to Kitten Up Kitten. My name is Sam, and today I want to show you multi-placing. So if you are brand new to diamond painting, this is a way of working through your WIP, your work in progress, a little bit quicker. I need to say before I start that I single placed for a very long time before I started using a multi-placer. I do use one regularly now, but it varies on what size it is depending on what picture I'm doing. So we're going to start right with the basics. So what I'm going to do is I've picked this end section because it's a little bit more colour blocky than the middle bit. So I am going to go for my letter D. So to show you the difference, this is my single placer. I use a metal tip as opposed to one of the little ones that you get in the kits, but you can get plastic multi-placers. I tend to prefer the metal ones. I am what you would call a hard placer. I press quite hard. If you're a soft placer, you can use the plastic ones for ages. So I'm going to use this metal pen, and currently on here, that's a 3. I have got a single placer and a 2 metal placer, because you want to start small and work your way up. Now it will vary from person to person whether they can multi-place, whether they like multi-placing, and how big a multi-placer they can go to. I know of some YouTubers that will regularly use a 14 or a 15. I don't, but that's me. So I'm going to do a mix. There will be a mix of this type of shot and a close-in shot to do this. So I will do that in the editing. So I'm going to get my drills. I'm just using a little tray that I got from Diamond Art Club because it's see-through, so you can kind of see. It's a little bit cloudy today, but my hay fever has been really bad just recently. I'm going to use wax for this. I would generally use double-sided tape, but that is for another video. So I'm going to get my single placer. I'm going to poke a little hole in it. That then puts the wax in the end of that pen. Oh, or not. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? So anyway, let's get rid of the excess. Now, the reason I don't use wax is because I am a hard presser, so sometimes I'll end up with wax all over my beautiful work. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So single place, and grab your drill, pick it up and place it where it needs to go. Nice and easy, like so. So you get your multi-placer. And it just means that this one is a 2 because it will pick up 2 drills at the same time. Now, a little tip, get your wax in, and then if you've got a nail, I haven't really got any at the minute, just run your nail across the top and take any excess off, because you want it inside. You want it inside there. I do apologise for the coughing. So what you do, I get my drills. You've got the little grooves in the bottom of the tray. So when I pick my drills up, I just push gently against those little grooves because it makes them line up. And it's exactly the same thing. Center where your drill is going and put it down. And then what I would suggest is working for a little while just with a 2-placer. Now, I find it easier to place drills vertically as opposed to horizontally. Now, sometimes you can't help it depending on the picture that you've got, but a lot of time if you do it vertically, it actually lines up better. Now, some canvases will work with multi-placing and some just won't. So let me just place that one vertically, and this makes it fun. It's like Tetris. Right, I picked up 3 there. It's like Tetris. You're finding the gap where that 2 can go. And it's as simple as that. You can, of course, straighten your drills if you should need to with your single end. So I would suggest using the 2-placer to start with. Once you are comfortable, what you're looking for is nice, neat drills. Once you find it easy, then you can switch out. So I have here a 3-placer. Dear me. So I'm just going to screw that one out, and I'm going to put this one in. That could probably do with another O-ring on it. If you don't know what an O-ring is, it's one of these little plastic rings, and they literally go over the end of the bit that goes in your pen. You can also use a little bit of double-sided tape. So we've got the 2. I'm now going to load up my 3. Like so. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a push down, and I'm going to use my nail to take any excess off the top. And that's purely because I'm quite messy when it comes to wax. Like I said, I'm a bit of a hard press. Pick my 3 drills up, lay them down. It's that simple. And it just means that you're going to speed up those areas of colour blocking, so they don't take quite so long. And it's that simple. Now I currently am using a 6 multiplacer on a round canvas, and I'm using a 4 multiplacer on a square. Companies don't always have the same exact size drill field. So on some companies you will find that using a multiplacer, they line up perfectly and you don't have to move anything. But on others, you may find they're slightly off. So then when you place your drills, you will, get your drills like that. You will place them, and then you will find that you will need to straighten them or bring them into line so that it looks neat. Now you don't need to use your single end nib. You can, if I've got one. Yeah, I have. Just bear with me. You can use a little straightener like this that fits in the end of your pen. This is a metal one. You can get them in plastic. And you can then use that to straighten your drills. It works very, very well. I tend to do this quite a bit at the end of a picture. So let's say you've mastered your 2, you've mastered your 3. I would then go to a 4. A 4 is my favourite for squares. I don't know why, it just works really well. Same thing again. Let's get that wax. Let's pick some up into the pen. I'm going to squish it in a bit, and then I'm just going to scrape any excess off the top. Now some people are very neat with their wax, and they can do that without having to take the excess off. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I've got space for a 4 before I do it. I'm going to pick my 4 up and place it. Now you can obviously see how much quicker that is, so that when you're doing large areas of colour blocking, you can really, really whiz through that diamond painting. Now me personally, I don't actually mind if it takes me a while to do a diamond painting. You know, I enjoy doing it, so the time essence isn't of an issue. The only reason that I started doing multiplacing is because of YouTube. I wanted to be able to go through these bigger kits that I enjoy a little bit quicker. Now I do need to say, let's say you're on a 4. I'm just going to line my drills up again a bit. You can use your 4 placer to pick up a single drill, 2 drills, 3 drills. So don't think you have to change them out. You don't. And actually, with a bit of practice, very often people will just use their multiplacer. They won't use their single placer at all. I tend to use my single placer if I just need a single one, but it's just habit to flip my pen around, which is why I like these types of pens that have a shaped bit both ends. It just makes it easy. And then, of course, once you are done, you know, once you're comfortable with your 4, you can keep going up. Now, the largest multiplacer that I have is a 9. I have used a 7. I wasn't as keen on the 7 as I was on the 6. So for me, I tend to not go bigger than the 6. But it's the same principle. You line your drills up, push them up against that little groove in your tray, and then centre them. Just like that. Now with the 6, I am still at the point where I'm having to just move those drills up a little bit. But it makes it a lot easier to do larger areas of colour blocking. Much easier. There we go. So that's how you can progress with a multiplacer. Now it is slightly differently on squares, because obviously with squares you've got to make sure that they line up perfectly. But I find that it's easier to multiplace with squares than rounds. You would think not, but I honestly swear it is. I find it a lot easier, and I actually got a lot of my practice in using a multiplacer. On some rounds I still just single place. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to show you. Let's do it on this video, shall we? Let me see if I find something that I can use to do. Right, I'm gonna use my ruler. So single placing on edges. The edges is where you want to get it nice and straight. Now you've got that little edge of glue down the side there. You very often get that overlap. You can use a thin plastic store card. You can use a piece of plastic. You can use a big straightener if you've got a big straightener, the big white ones. But just for the sake of ease, I'm going to do this with this ruler. And what I will do, especially if it's a gift, I'm going to come in, I'm going to put my ruler right on the edge there. And I'm just going to I'm going to single place that row. Because if you get those edges straight, like so, the rest will follow. This is particularly true of squares. I would always suggest doing the edge of your square, if it's on the outside edge of the canvas, do it with a ruler or something until you get good at it. Now I tend to just use, I find, it's nice and straight, look, I find using my washi tape is enough. So I just follow the edge of that washi tape, and it tends to keep them a lot straighter. Now, I'm not the neatest diamond painter by a long way. You know, I haven't been doing it that long myself, but I am definitely getting better. Right, so my single placer isn't picking up very well. So I'm going to reload that single end, and this is why I don't use wax. Along with the fact that I'm a hard presser and I end up with wax on my canvas, I have to refill it all the time. So yeah, I just use that little bit of washi tape along that edge to act as my guide for where that edge is. And then once I've got my singles in along the edge, I can then just go in with the multiplacer. So I'm going to show you, I've shown you a 2, a 3, a 4 and a 6. This is the 9. So let's see if I can get this in here. This might be a little bit of a tight, there we go. A little bit of a tighter fit. Is my wax, oh, I'm going to have to do it that way, I think. It's too long for the wax bit. I didn't pick up the best wax square that I've got, I have to say. Mainly because I didn't have it to hand. You know, like I said, I use tape. So that's my 9 loaded. So I'm literally going to come in, I'm going to push those rounds to the end, like so. And then let's hope we've got a 9 to put it on. Yes, we have. Now, if you rock it, I don't know if that's the best way to explain it. Let me do these again because I've got one more 9. When you've got your multiplacer, if you rock it onto the drills and then rock it onto the canvas, that can help. So let's see if I can start at the bottom. I don't anymore, so I've messed that up. Let me see if I can pick up 9. Right, that didn't work. Let me try again. You'll do a lot of this when you first start doing it, but it is worth learning. So I'm going to pick mine up, and then as I place them, I'm going to line up that first one, and then I'm going to rock it down, and that can help keep them straight. Now, the reason I don't use a 9 is just because I just feel it's still quite untidy. So that's why I prefer the 6. But doing the 6 is more than big enough to get those drills done. So you put it on, you pick them up, and you just rock them down. And you can very, very quickly fill in those areas. Single placing, whether it's round or square, I tend to find working in a diagonal and building steps works very well for me. I tend to find that helps keep them straight. So I'm just going to do it on this one so you can see what I mean. So I've got 3 there, 2 there and 1 there. I will then fill them in by doing a step. So 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, back to the top, 1 there, 2 here. Now this works very well with squares for me. Some people do checkerboard, so they will do, let me show you. They will do, let's do it here. So they will do that one. They will miss the next one. Do that one, miss the next one. Do that one, miss the next one. And then when they do the second row, they then go in and get the ones in between. So they will do that one. And then that one. Now this technique works. It helps to keep the drills neatly. And it works. So as you can see, we've got a little checkerboard. They will then go in and fill the extra ones, and it works on squares and rounds. It can help keep your work neat. I prefer the step method just because I single placed for so long, and I just found it worked much better for squares, but you can do either. It's just a handy little tip for placing your drills. I'm now going to fill this in because I've got 4. So I'm going to use my 6 placer and pick up 4. I'm going to use my single placer and just fill in those bits. Like so. And carry on. But multi-placing will give you the ability to pick and choose how many you pick up, and make your canvas go that little bit quicker, if you would like it to. I hasten to add, sometimes, especially if you've got a large amount of colour blocking, we do want it to go a bit quicker, because that bit can be a little bit boring, can't it? Especially if you've got a large section. But you know, if you're a single placer, carry on. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a problem. So that's what I wanted to come on today to show you. I wanted to show you single placing, multi-placing, and how to build up. Like I said, you can very often buy packs of these metal tips or plastic tips if you prefer. And they come in a variety of sizes. They usually have a straightener in. You can get those on Amazon. You can get them on AliExpress. I've got a number of different ones. I just prefer the full metal tips, you know, that they just work better for me. So I'm just going to carry on single placing. And it's just a way of, you know, improving or speeding up what you're doing. And especially if you've got a large area of colour blocking, which, as I said before, is where you've got lots of one colour all in blocks. You know, if you are doing confetti, let's show you a confetti piece. We've discussed this before. If you're doing confetti, where you've got an area where you've got lots of different colours all in a small space, you will probably end up single placing anyway. I like a mix of both. A confetti picture will take you longer because you are having to single place. But it isn't a race. The end result is absolutely the same. When I started colour blocking, I actually started doing it on, it was on a decent canvas. Choose a cheap canvas, choose something, you know, that it's not going to matter if it's not perfect, because it will take a little bit of practice. Like with any new skill, it can take time to get better. So, you know, practice on that before you start doing it on a really big kit. Now, me personally, if I am doing a kit for somebody and, you know, it's a decent kit and I want it to be perfect, I would just single place, because it will always be neater. If you single place, it's less likely that you will need to go back through and straighten your drills. And it is definitely worth the extra time and effort to end up with a perfect painting at the end of it. So that is it from me. I hope this was helpful. Please do check out Amazon or AliExpress. Put in diamond painting multi-places and you should get kits. I got lots of metal bits with this pen, so for under £9 I got a really nice pen which I love, and some of the multi-places. Like I said, for me, I use a 6 generally when I'm doing round. I use a 4 for square because that's what works for me. You may start doing yours and find that actually you can do a 10 or a 15, you know, and all the power of the good to you if you can. I'm not that neat, but I'm going to continue to do this little section, and I will think about what the next video will be. I haven't decided yet. I think it needs to be wax and storage, I feel. Because storage is the thing that I love, and I do have a number of different storage options, so I may have to do that. But I hope it's of help. Please do ask any questions. If you feel I've missed anything out or there's something you're still not sure about, ask in the comment section below this video. I will answer you as soon as I possibly can, but you may find that one of my subscribers may answer for me, which is fab because that's what we want. So it is, as always, an over and out from this Kitten Up Kitten. Bye-bye for now.